So, your partner is avoiding you. What do you do? Ouch. All right, don't worry. I've got some ideas. We'll talk about it. First, if you're somebody who has been a longtime viewer of my channel, thank you. And I'm going to have some updates at the end of this video. Please stick around. So, back to the topic at hand here. Your partner's avoiding you. Nobody likes this, right? You're in a relationship because you want to be with somebody. There's some kind of benefit. So let's talk about what that feels like first. First and foremost, let's acknowledge what you're feeling. You're probably feeling like pain, right? We can agree on that. Like basically, you're just feeling pain. You want to feel connected to your partner. You want to feel like your relationship's going in a good direction. And when your partner goes away from you, it might feel like they're tugging at you a little bit and you are drawn closer to them. You want to be around them, and feeling the absence of them hurts. Makes sense, right? Maybe you're feeling that now. So I just want to acknowledge that that's what it feels like. Maybe you should take a few moments and, maybe when you're done watching this, or if you have time later in the day, maybe you're in your car and you're just thinking to yourself like we all do, sit down and really feel what it feels like. All right, that's important. How you feel is important. That's what I really want to get across here. Now, after we get past how you're feeling, let's look a little bit deeper into things and let's question, is your partner actually avoiding you? I know that when I have my worst days, I tend to believe that everybody's doing something bad to me, because when you're feeling stressed, maybe you've noticed something specific is going on in your life. Maybe you just moved, maybe you changed jobs, maybe, you welcomed a baby into the family, whatever it is. Maybe something big is happening and you're feeling a lot of extra stress right now. And when you feel that extra stress, we tend to just think negatively about everything, including our partners. And we may feel like maybe our partner's not there for us during this time, or our partner is doing something deliberately to hurt us, or we can come up with all kinds of things in our imagination. And those things might not actually be true. Now, here's the catch. Maybe you know this already and you're like, okay, but they are avoiding me and I don't want to just approach them. Because my next thing that I would say to you is find out, ask your partner, are you avoiding me? Is something wrong? Is something going on between us? Maybe don't make it so confrontational. Are you avoiding me? Don't do that. Because then they might start to avoid you. But just kind of gently ask and say, this is how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like there's some distance between us. I'm not feeling very good. Maybe I feel like I need you around a little bit more than I usually do. What's going on? Do you need some time to yourself? What's going on here? Ask them, because we can get stuck in our own heads. I get stuck in my own head all the time, and I make up all kinds of reasons for why people do things and what's going on in my life that may not actually be true. So I'm just using this word of caution to you as well as to myself to think a little bit more carefully of whether or not you should approach the person that you're thinking so much about, your partner, and give them the consideration to at least find out what's going on. Now, let's say they really are avoiding you. Maybe even the word avoiding isn't the right word to use here. Again, let's open up our minds and expand our heart a little bit here for our partner and try to not see it maybe as a bad thing. Maybe your partner does need some space. Maybe they've told you this before. Maybe there's something that you've enacted, the two of you back and forth, this kind of thing happens and you're like, oh, it's happening again, they're avoiding me. But maybe you know the reasons why. Maybe they have told you, when you behave this way or when this kind of thing happens, I need my space. And we all need our space. Maybe you can't see that right now. Maybe you want to desperately cling to them, which, by the way, is probably going to make them want to avoid you more if that's the case. But maybe because you want them close, you can't see from their perspective. And maybe it would help for you to think of times in your life when you've needed space. Maybe you were going through something, or maybe you were just overwhelmed. Maybe there were just too many people in your life trying to get your attention too much, and you just needed to be by yourself. I'm sure we've all had that experience. So consider if that's maybe something that's going on here, that maybe your relationship is just a little bit too much right now. Maybe things are too emotionally intense. Not everybody loves to be steeped in emotions and into the whole relationship thing all the time. We're all different people, and that's okay. Some people really value their independence and their individuality and their ability to live their lives, and they need a little separation from their partner. It's healthy and it's okay to have that separation. It's also healthy to have the connection, so don't blame yourself for anything here. Let's talk about that for a second, blaming yourself. I think a lot of us have this tendency when something goes wrong or when our partner does something, we react to it by turning to ourselves. And in a way, it's like we want to take responsibility, right? We're trying to do the right thing. We're saying, well, I can't control them, so I'm going to do what I can to fix this. And when we maybe feel like we can't do anything, or maybe we feel like we did something already, we blame ourselves. I think it's like there's something like nice and like you're thinking of the other person in a way. Like, I'll just take the blame for everything. But it's not good when you beat up on yourself and you hurt yourself and you just add to the pain. You're not really helping the situation if you're just making yourself feel worse. So consider whether or not you're doing that. And if you are, try to remember in these situations, blame usually doesn't do very much except for make people upset. So see if you can avoid the blame. Just look at what's happening as happening. You know, I will say for most situations in life, I think for myself, and I'm still learning this lesson all the time, it's better if you can see whatever's happening right now as not as important as you feel like it might be. Because there's a lot of time that we live this life. And you may be with your partner for a very long time. And to take this one little thing, or even though it seems very big, and maybe I don't want to diminish it because maybe it is big. I don't know what's going on in your particular situation, but if you can keep from making it larger than it is, don't make it so large. Remember, you're going to have the next week, you're going to have the next month, you're going to have the next year, whatever it is, to figure these things out. So you don't have to figure it all out right now, and you don't have to be perfect in a relationship. It's okay to make mistakes. Okay, so let's say you have talked to your partner, or maybe you do kind of know what's going on because you've had this pattern before and you've talked about it before. Depending on what's going on, that's going to change what you're going to want to do, right? I think first and foremost, I should always bring attention to what do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do. I think it's important that you make your decisions in your life with integrity and that you listen to whatever your heart is telling you. So every situation is different. That's why I say this. I can't tell you exactly what to do because I'm not living your life, and you could give me every detail of your relationship and I still couldn't tell you. That's just the way it is. You have to make your decisions for yourself. And I think the only way to make a good decision is to know that you feel good about it. And again, remember, you have all the time in the world to make a decision. But if they're avoiding you because of a problem that you've talked about before, try to remember what they've said in the past and try to respect that for whatever reason, they're uncomfortable right now. They need their space and their time, and give them that space and time. But also, don't forfeit what you want. Try to voice that, you know, I want you to have time and space. I understand you're avoiding me for this reason, or you don't want to be around me right now for whatever reason it is. So I'm going to let you do that. But please also know that I want to spend time with you, and that's something that I'm desiring. And then give them the freedom to choose if they want to do that or not. If they don't want to do that, if that's something that keeps coming up, that they can't give you the things that make you feel satisfied, I would say, again, give them their space, allow them to have their time, but then take time with yourself and really sit down and feel what you're feeling. Hopefully you have a calm place that you can do this in. Find a little place of respite in your day, a place of peace, and maybe you have to do this over multiple days, but really ask yourself, like, what do I want out of this relationship? How much do I want to support my partner in whatever it is that they're going through? How much do I need support myself? What are we doing together? How are we growing from this relationship? Like, evaluate, decide how you feel about it. And that's not to say that you need to do something extreme like break up or, I don't know, whatever people do, but at least they're going to need their space anyway. So let them have that space, and then take the space for yourself to think about, like, what's going on here? How do I feel? And how do I change the way I feel about things if I don't feel good? you can't change your partner. So if this is something that's bothering them, it's not going to do any good to force them to come closer to you or pull them in or manipulate or do tricks or whatever, because in the end, it's not really satisfying. It's not really what you want. I don't think that's what anybody wants. Nobody wants to manipulate somebody into a relationship. And it's not going to feel good for them either. So take the time to be with yourself. Maybe you'll find that you really enjoy spending time with yourself and you have all this time now that you didn't have before to go do a hobby or talk with friends or go relax or do something, I don't know, clean, whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do, now you can go ahead and do it. Try to see this as a benefit. Try to see every situation in life, if you can, as having some kind of benefit in your life. And that will maybe hopefully smooth things over. Hopefully I've given you some ideas of what to do if your partner is avoiding you. If you have a particular story that you want to share, go ahead and share that in the comments. Now, I am going to be starting a new channel. It's kind of weird for me to even say this because I've been thinking about it forever, but the channel has already been created. Maybe by the time you're watching this, maybe it's going to be 3 years in the future, and that channel is going to have millions of videos. Probably not millions. I'm not that good at working. But hopefully it'll have a lot of videos. But right now, as of the time of publishing this video, it's brand new. I don't have anything on there, but I will put a link to it just to challenge myself and ask you to go ahead and subscribe. And that will kind of like push me to say, no, I need to do this. I need to make the videos. It's going to be focusing on these kinds of relationship issues, probably initially about avoidance and that kind of thing in a relationship. And how do you do it? How do you go through this? Just my kind of advice for you. I'd be very grateful if you go ahead and subscribe. The name of the channel is Relationships and Love Designed for Today. I had to remember. My life is a little crazy and I don't always have time to remember things, but here we are. I'm doing the best I can doing this video right now. So thank you to all my subscribers who have stayed with me on this channel. I'm going to continue to make some videos on this channel. We'll see how things go. I'm experimenting in my life too. And just like how your partner may be avoiding you and this may be a new situation for you, try to take it with a sense of openness and a sense of curiosity to understand what your partner is going through, and maybe get curious about yourself and how you can use this time to explore the things that make you happy. So thank you for watching. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, or whatever below, and I will see you soon again on this channel and hopefully on the new channel, Relationships and Love Designed for Today. Take care, everyone.